I actually felt really insecure about this. I choreographed that myself, and I think it's very obvious that I'm not a dancer.
Wednesday's iconic dance has all of the internet in a chokehold. Do you know the original story behind it? Did you know that Jenna Ortega was majorly sick when she filmed it? Or that she pulled it together at the last minute?
It was really awkward, but only because I make things awkward.
Number 1. Did you know the original idea for the dance was a flash mob? Can you imagine Wednesday Addams in collaboration with the entirety of Nevermore Academy on a dance?
I break out into hives and then the flesh peels off my bones.
Jenna Ortega was actually the one to vouch for Wednesday doing a dance on her own.
I thought, no, there's no way Wednesday would be cool dancing and encouraging a bunch of people.
After she talked it over with Tim Burton, he agreed to let her do her own thing.
That was really cool for me.
Number 2. Jenna wouldn't consider herself a dancer, much less a choreographer. She does like to have ownership over physical aspects of her characters, and Tim Burton refused to work with a dance choreographer. So it seemed more than appropriate for Jenna to take the task on herself. But how much did she prepare? We'll get into that in a second, after seeing everything she had on her plate.
Oh my God, I was kicking myself. I felt like such a fool. I was like, I'm not a dancer. I don't do any of that.
She has no experience in that field at all. What do you think? Would you have known?
Oh, wow, that's like a hidden talent.
Number 3. We wouldn't dare call Jenna a procrastinator. She was just super busy.
I was doing cello that week, fencing that week. I just didn't have time.
Tim Burton comes up to Jenna in her trailer.
I know you said that you wanted to choreograph this yourself because I refuse to see a choreographer.
This was only 2 days before shooting the scene.
He was like, I know you got it. You've been working on it. I'm not even worried about it. I trust you.
She, in fact, hadn't been working on it at all.
And I said, oh yeah, you know, it's all so good. And I had not gone over it at all.
Number 4. Jenna didn't sleep for 2 days trying to figure it out. She watched a lot of videos of Susie and the Banshees.
I like Lena Lovitch. I think she's a weirdo. And she had a lot of really interesting music videos.
She even found hours of archival footage of goth kids dancing in clubs in the 80s.
It's nice to kind of see them enjoy themselves a little bit, and I took some of the stuff that they do and added it towards the end.
She was also really inspired by Fosse.
I had seen some of his films in the past, so I took a little bit of inspiration from him as well.
Number 5. We're not talking about Christina Ricci, who plays Marilyn Thornhill on the show.
My name is
Or Laurel Gates, whatever you want to call her. She played Wednesday back in the 90s.
The baby weighs 10 pounds. The cannonball weighs 20 pounds. Which will hit the stone walkway first?
We're going all the way back to Lisa Loring's original Wednesday dance from the 60s. Did you catch that classic inspiration?
If you learn how to dance well, she'll think you're boss.
Number 6. It was Jenna's first day with COVID, the day of the dance shoot.
So it was awful to film, and I asked to redo it, but we didn't have time.
She woke up that day with major body aches and a sore throat, but she didn't know she had COVID until after because they were waiting on test results.
I felt like a little goblin had been let loose in my throat and was just scratching the walls of my esophagus.
Number 7. There was actually quite a bit of it. We mentioned before that a big inspiration behind Jenna's moves was Susie and the Banshees.
I feel kind of bad because I ripped off a couple of her moves.
She used a few of Susie's moves as improvised filler in between some of her other choreographed moves.
Where she's just going like this for a really long time, and she's just singing at the stand or whatever, and I did that as filler.
Those moves proved to be useful while she was waiting for another move or a camera movement.
Because I just had to throw stuff in there to kind of improvise.
Number 8. That song was picked by both Jenna Ortega and Tim Burton. Jenna read the script for episode 4 pretty early on, but they didn't have any idea what kind of dance they wanted or even what song to play.
A week before we shot the dance, he chose the song Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps.
Jenna actually was pretty ahead of the game and made a playlist with potential songs for the dance number.
And the Cramps is one of my favorite bands ever, so I was super excited, super pumped. It was on my episode 4 playlist.
Did you know there were so many behind-the-scenes tidbits about Wednesday's dance number? We're even more impressed after finding out Jenna Ortega choreographed it last minute, all while being incredibly sick and with no prior dance experience. What's your favorite behind-the-scenes fact about it?